Hello everyone. It is Wednesday, August the 21st, 2024. This month is flying by. And boy, we are very lucky right now. I know things are going to get horrible, awful, destructive, damaging, worst hurricane season ever. I think if we use inflammatory language like that, maybe we'll get a little bit of what they call uh psychological reverse psychology effects, maybe if you know what I mean. So let's just pretend this can be the most destructive, most devastating hurricane season on record. And I believe it will be. It's going to be awful. It's going to be bad. There's going to be one storm after another every other day heading towards the Gulf Coast or Atlantic coast, Florida. It's going to just be hell on earth. So let's just have that in our mindset. Let's just plan on that. But let's look let's look and see what we have going on right now, which is not hell on earth, but we got some stuff going on. And as you can see, this is a visible satellite loop of Florida. And right along here, you can see we have a good amount of thunderstorms that have popped up from just inland of Sarasota and Bradenton, just southeast of Tampa. And they're cutting across the peninsula along places like Lake Wales and Sebring and the Atlantic coast around Melbourne, Palm Bay, basically around the Kennedy Space Center. A lot of thunderstorms there, and there's a lot of thunderstorms that have popped up over the Everglades, although they're kind of falling apart. So it's just kind of cloudy down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale area and Palm Beach areas. There's also some thunderstorms that erupted over the Okefenokee Swamp here in southeast Georgia and just around the Jacksonville area, but those are having some outflow boundaries. You can see right here, you can see how the air is coming out from these thunderstorms. In fact, here in Gainesville, at my studio, the wind just kicked up to about 20 miles an hour, and it's hot and dry outside. It's really weird for August. It's very strange. We had a cold front come through here. Well, a cool front, more like I like to call it a dry front. A dry front came through here. It's and the front is situated in this area right here. This is actually more like a stationary front, and that would be looking like this right here. It's a stationary front, and so that's why the thunderstorm activity is popping up over South and Central Florida. Now, over time, over the next couple of days, this is going to lift to the north, the boundary is, and so will the thunderstorm activity. We'll start getting thunderstorms popping up all along the Big Bend area, the Panhandle, and across North Central Florida where I'm at. So I'm looking forward to that to get some cooler temperatures. It's been really hot this whole month, and it's been very yucky. I haven't enjoyed it at all. And so that's enough of the weather with Florida. Let's look out across the whole satellite shot of the West Atlantic, the Gulf, and then especially the Eastern Pacific. So you can see here we have us a hurricane. This is Hurricane Gilma. We have a tropical depression out here. Another storm is going to develop, and possibly another storm is going to develop right in here. So the East Pacific is very busy, and it's probably because there is what they call a Kelvin wave moving through there. And basically, there's something called the Madden-Julian oscillation. Basically, it occurs on a 30-day calendar month. It's a period of time where you have upward motion in the atmosphere where the air is rising like this. And so right now that's happening over the Eastern and Central Pacific. And probably it's going to take it a week or two to migrate over to the Atlantic. But these features, the Madden-Julian oscillation tends to move from west to east. And so what you see right here, will probably be occurring over in this area in about 2 weeks. So we're looking at about between the 4th of September and about the 15th of September, things are going to start getting busy. Probably, I would say in this area right here, the Southwest Atlantic. Let me stretch that up a little bit, probably more like that. So the Southwest Atlantic, the Western Caribbean, and the Southern Gulf of Mexico is probably going to be the focal points of development as we get into the month of September. And then the long term, middle of September to late September, you can expect activity to happen more out where this arrow is pointing, more out over the East Atlantic. So let's take a look, see here at the East Atlantic here. I'm going to try and make my video short. Now, I want to point something out. Look at how the moisture is increasing over the intertropical convergence zone right here over the East Atlantic. It's real moist right here. in this little belt region. Kind of extends up like this a little bit. Um, and then let's see. So basically this area right here is moist. And let me erase that. And let me show you right here. I talked about this and other meteorologists are talking about this. Look at all this. And isn't that kind of creepy looking? Look at that. Looks like this is all dry air here. And this has probably got some Saharan dust in it right here. You know what? That's kind of weird looking. It looks like a face. It looks like a smile right here. See that creepy looking smile right there? That's a bunch of dry air. And until this dissipates, we're not going to see any development out. You see where my cursor is? We're not going to see any development out here for at least another week. It's going to take a week for this area to moisten up. Now, right here over the Gulf of Mexico, like I was saying just a few minutes earlier, some of the development areas are more than likely going to be, wait, let me use a different one. That's no good. I don't like that. So the development areas are probably going to be right in this area right here. That's where we're going to look for development. And I'm going to say September the 4th through about the 16th. And then as we get past that, this area here, we're going to say mid to late. I can't write on this very well. Mid to late September. That looks terrible. I'm sorry. So that's basically what we're going to look at here. This dry air has got to filter out. Otherwise, we're not going to see any development out here. And just to end real quick here, let's look at the computer models real quick. You know how I always like to look at those. Let's look at our good old GFS. We're going to go to the, let's see. Where is it? I've lost it. Here we go. North Atlantic. So as you can see, let me get my telestration going on here. I'm going to choose a different, no, I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to use this color yellow here. So as you can see right here, I'm going to, let's go back up here, put this into motion here, slow it down just a bit. So here you go. This is the computer model moving forward. As you can see, looks like it's very dry out here. There's nothing much going on. And there's a tropical disturbance that tries to get its act together across South Florida towards the beginning of next week. So we're going to see an increase of rain across the Florida Peninsula in this weekend and probably the first part of next week. Then it kind of gets dried out again. Another frontal boundary kind of hangs out here, keeps us unsettled for, let's see, when is that going to be? That's going to be about the 24th, 25th of August. So let's see, erase that. But notice we don't see any low pressure areas except over land here over South America. Now look at this out here. You're getting a little bit of something curling right here. And that is, what date is that? Oh yeah, low pressure starts to develop out here near the Cabo Verde Islands on around the 23rd. So actually, looking at this forecast model only goes through about the 27th of the month. So between now and about Tuesday, don't expect any development across the Atlantic. Now, as we get towards the 28th and 29th, it's indicating that something might pop up over here. And that's it for that. So let me stop sharing here. Anyway, basically, there's not much going on in the tropical Atlantic right now. And we're just going to get some continued hot weather in Florida with increased showers and thunderstorms, especially over north central Florida and eastern Panhandle and the Big Bend. South Florida will continue to have pop-up showers and storms. We'll see temperatures between 88 and 94 degrees, depending on where you are in the state. And then across the east, we can expect still fairly nice weather if you have the interior East Coast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with a few scattered thunderstorms. And anyway, that's all I have for now. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good evening.